welcome to Conquering Most Scrap More with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're going to talk to you about Free Pattern Friday. Yes, it's another Free Pattern Friday. And today we're going to do a real simple, quick, fun little block that's a great scrap buster. But some of the new people were like, I don't know how to do that, so how do I do it and how do I change it to make it mine? So we're going to be talking about that too today. But first, I want to introduce to you Quilts Are My Passion. Now, there is nowhere where I could find in her videos or in her about page as to what her first name was, but she does some fun ideas over on her YouTube channel, and hers is going to be in the show notes below. Also, we have a Facebook group and an Instagram account that we're inviting you to come follow or join, and the Facebook group is a lot of fun. There's a lot of very talented ladies there that are posting pictures of what they're making, and there's chatting, and you know, new people are dropping in all the time. So come on and join those. But first, let's get to that sewing. Okay, I have 2.5 by 6.5 inch strips. Now, when you sew 3 of these together, what happens is they make that magical 3.5 or 6.5 inch, right? So it's kind of like a little magic game that you play. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay out some stuff here randomly. If you wanted to, you know, be a controlled scrappy, you know, and only, let's say, use reds and blacks or yellow or whatever, you can do that too. You can also do like real scrappy eclectic. Mix up your textures and everything to make this work a little, have a little fun with it, you know, like just make it happen, you know. And it's supposed to be, you know, a stress-free way of spending your day, right? Well, sometimes it's not. Trust me. It's like some days it's not so stress-free. Anyways, you want to put 3 and just, you know, see where you're at with your colors. Make sure, I don't know, I kind of like a little purple every once in a while. Oh, let's put this one in. This one's fun. That's a fun color. And, oh, let's get a yellow. I'll have to dig for a yellow, but we can find a yellow. I like yellows. Let's get a yellow in there. Really make this pop. So you want a bunch of different textures and shapes and everything going on here. Like you don't want, you know, all polka dots. You don't want all stripes. You don't want all... But this is where we're kind of heading. So what you would do is you would just do your basic block. Now this is going to turn out to a 12.5 inch unfinished block, which will finish at 12 inches in the quilt. And right now you can see you got 3 across here and it don't look like it's going to fit, right? Well, by the time you sew everybody seam allowance, a seam allowance on everybody, it'll work fine. And it's a very quick, fast block. Now you could go with 8.5 inch strips and 8 across. With 8.5 by 2.5, you could do like 4 of them, right? And that would give you an 8.5 inch square block, right? So that would be an interesting way to do your things too, right? You know. So I put a little bit of plain solids in there too, just to break it up. Just break it up a bit. There. Okay, I'm going to switch these 2 around. So I get a solid up here. Okay, there. And there, actually, this is the best beginner block, right? You could do this with 2 inch by 3.5 inch or 2.5 by 4.5 inch, and you only need 2 strips, which is, you know, a little bit easier to come by sometimes, you know, especially if you've got a bunch of potato chip blocks that you cut out and you're now wondering, okay, what am I going to do with them? Now I have a whole bunch of 2 inch by 3.5 inch bricks. Well, you know, this is a very quick way of doing this, right? So I'm just going to snip here and sew in the round. So I'm just going to open it up. I'm not even going to clip my stuff apart yet, because I don't have to. And if you wanted it really, really random, I mean, you would stack a bunch of stuff up and just only worry about doing 3 blocks at a time, or your 3 strips at a time. And then you don't have to worry about, I want that on this side, so I'm going to go like this. I want the plain one in the middle. So I'm just going to go put this like so. You can do this any way you want. It all looks good. If you want to go with a more monochromatic look, you can. It looks good as well. And that one looks good. They all look good. Actually, I'm at the point in my life, well, is there anything I went yuck to? Probably not. And that's probably a little bit brighter sides on the other side. Let's get that one. Okay. And there. Last one. Okay. This is kind of one of those blocks that you can take. This is a perfect block for a retreat. You can sew and chaff and not worry. The only thing that might happen as you're sewing is it's going to, you know, you're going to put the same fabric on the same block or something, but I mean, that's not a big deal. So I just finger press these all open like so. Just because I think it lies a little flatter. But I mean, like I say, this, if you just wanted to sew like long strips together and then cut them, that also works. That also works out really well. You know, so you lay two this away. Okay. I'm gonna lay two this way and two the other way. Always make sure you got some yellow going on. Yellow is a good brightener. Yellow brightens a block up. Just like if you're doing a plant block or something like that, you know. If you're doing, they say if you're doing bouquets, you know, you try and have at least, I forget how much is it, 10% of yellow or yellow centered or something. You need a portion of yellow in there. I don't know. Or gardening. Or you're laying out these horticultural guys that come and do your garden and they do a beautiful job and then you spend the rest of your life cursing because it's so hard to upkeep. So here we go. We're now just going to sew these together just like you would a page in a book. So you're going to sew where it's like this. None of your seams line up, by the way. You just have to get this and this to match, which is good because you don't have to worry about matching seams, nothing. You just sew. And this will make a bright and happy quilt somewhere, or quilt block somewhere. Now, with this, I would sew it this way, but I want to make sure I keep those things open. So I'm going to flip it over. Okay. This is a great leader ender project too. If you're doing other things and you need a quick little leader ender, this is perfect. Because this is so very quick. And it's a very traditional block, actually. Okay, now, you're going to take these, and you're going to flip them so that they're like this, right? And you're going to flip it open, just poof, like this. That's it. That's all you're doing. How simple is that? And now that block, these seams are all lying flat, these seams are all lying flat. And you do it again, just press it open, give it a good finger press. There we go, and we flip it like this, right? And then we go just like this. Now, there's a part of this block that I won't be able to see to make sure that the seams stay sewn open, but I have a nest. I can nest it. So I'm just going to nest it, and I'm just going to hold on to it. That one didn't get pressed open. Oh dear, I missed one. Oh, that's okay. And make sure that works. Real good, yeah. Now I'm just pulling this out of the pantry items that I have kicking around my sewing room, because I always keep, there's things that I always keep handy because I tend to use it. I mean, you have to kind of discover what sizes you reach for more frequently. There you go, and now we're going to be at our ta-da moment right away. Here, let me just get this unclipped and I'll press that open. Okay, we're at our ta-da moment. And here we go, ta-da! This is a cute little block. It's very beginner friendly, very great for scrap busting, and you can play with this. Now, you can go 8.5 strips by 2.5, right? But go 4 across, and then you would end up with this section being 8.5 square, unfinished, 8 inches square, finished, right? You could also do 10 or whatever makes you happy here, right? And you can also snowball them, right? Like once you get 4 together, just snowball them, like with putting a neutral along the corners, all 4 corners, and it would give you a totally different look again when you start sewing all of these into, you know, a big quilt. This is kind of a fun and versatile block that people, it's just a rails block. No, there's lots of things you can do with this, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And you can have a really cool modern twist to it as well by making a larger scale. Let's say you go like with 3.5 inches and, you know, 10 inches or whatever, it would work. It would, or 3.5 by 12.5 inches. That would rock too, because you just have 4 strips of 3.5 by 12 inches, and you sew them together, and that would give you a 12-inch unfinished, or 12-inch finished, 12.5 unfinished block very quickly. Okay, so there's all sorts of things you can do with a rail. Anyways, you have a great day ahead. Okay, bye. Take care. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our little fun adventure here that we're having. We do have a Facebook group now, and that Facebook group is got some very, very talented quilters in there, and we love sharing and you know, posting pictures and commenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And the advantage of the Facebook group is sometimes I drop patterns in there early, so you kind of get a hint as to what is coming next. After the nosegay sew along, we're going to be doing curves boot camp right away. So we'll get you sewing those curves, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of interesting little blocks that we've got to work on. But we would like you to share, like, and subscribe. Telling your friends about us and letting them know that you kind of like our channel, that means so much to us here. So you take care. You have a fabulous week ahead. Okay, bye!